into the semifinals of the 10th iteration of this week's Valorant Sunday Showdown. The semifinals featuring Destined, a team with a lot of history here in the VSS, going up against Big Frames, who I don't think we've seen anything from.
No, they're brand new, and Destined, I mean, with Ziff popping off and just having that 7-game in a row in that last match to just stomp it out, they got to be feeling really good about themselves, and Big Frames really kind of got to be sweating.
Yeah,
We'll see. It's a big hill to climb. We've seen upsets before, though, so I mean, don't count it out. Destin did, hurdle over that last opponent that knocked him out last week. So I mean, if they get crushed by another new opponent this week and they get snuffed out of grands again, they're gonna be feeling some
That
kind
would
of
be
way.
tough. That would be tough. Definitely interesting to see the rivalry building up between Triumph and Destined. Like you mentioned last week, Triumph actually taking out Destined. Destined getting the revenge kill this week. So hopefully we'll be seeing the rubber match of that best of 3 shape up next week. But this is now Big Frames' time to be yet another new team that can leave their mark on the history of the VSS. Be interesting to see, like you said, Destined feeling pretty good about themselves, coming off of really strong performances from Almighty Hunter, DSR. Ziff took a little while in that last game to get going. The Wifo didn't really get going in that last game, actually, so it'll be interesting to see if he can pick up the momentum. Starting out round 1 already, a lot of bullets flying. B long to go down on the side of Destin already. Big Frames do get an advantage here, but it looks like Destin not completely deterred off of the B side. Big Frames not forcing a rotation quite just yet. Ziff playing patiently towards the backside as Big Frames get it started. 2 kills.
Oh yeah, and I just want to point out the other match going on in semis right now is Rolled versus Gosu. So that's another huge like Goliath v Goliath matchup that's going on off stream.
Yeah, Rolled and Gosu, teams that have both been in the grand finals of multiple VSSs. Ziff gonna open up the action on B site on CP2. The vision now going down for Destin. They'd have no more reconnaissance, but Nerf trying to even it back up. Just one guy left for Destined. It will be Ziff, or excuse me, 2. Yeah, excuse me. Ziff and DSR making the rotate over to A site. They do get spotted out as Randy Savage here will try to held lamps, and he gets a really quiet snipe onto DSR. Finishes off the round on Ziff. Not sure about that play from Ziff. The first round going over to Big Frames.
Yeah, that was a good, strong showing on the side of Big Frames, taking out 2 of those players in that opening long side. I'm actually very surprised to see that they still are playing without Sage this late in the game. But I mean, if you're Ziff and you're Destin and you've got this track record, I mean, why not play the characters that you're most comfortable with?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that none of them just want to play that, back of the line
healer,
Sage.
Yeah. Well, as I've seen most Sages play actually in the VSS has been far more aggressive than I would expect. You'd kind of expect a Sage to want to sit back and save that heal for the most crucial moments. Destined is going to push quickly out onto A site with their 2 pistols, pushing through the smoke. They will get the they won't get the spike down as Randy Savage comes with the assassination, almost takes 2, but Big Frames will wipe up Destin on the B floor. The save round not quite working out for them. They're forced to pull the bomb back. Almighty Hunter going down. Now just Ziff left. He's not able to get anything done. Big Frames make it 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, that second round Spectre buy for Big Frames really paid off. And actually, I like doing that. I know not everyone does because they really want to save for, the Vandals going into the 3rd round, which as you can see, that's kind of what Destin did. So this is where Destin kind of has that upper hand over Big Frames now as far as the gun game goes.
Yeah. It's certainly an interesting economics theory question of what's better to take a riskier second round or have a more confident 3rd round, because if you take that first round pretty much every time you're going up against rifles in the 3rd round, as CB2 makes that lesson emphatically clear against DSR, starting the round off with a quick op kill over towards Hookah. Will be able to safely back up as well. Winsome gets a grenade kill onto Thweefo. We know Thweefo has had a tough time getting going in the last game as well. This game, no different so far.
Yeah, beautifully played. That was a clutch op shot right at the opening.
Yeah,
makes you really rethink that.
It's really gutsy stuff too to
Pop out a
peek that hookah hallway, but it really makes Destined think twice about taking that anymore. They're gonna have to play much safer around that, knowing that that's a possibility. I love that kind of play as Randy Savage will take out the spike carrier in the form of Almighty Hunter. Now Big Frames have such a strong advantage with the kills and knowing where Spike is. It'd be almost impossible for Destined to claw this round back. But Anderson does take 2 down. He does eventually get assassinated by Turn Up Too Easy, but did almost turn the round on its head. Now a 1v3 for Big Frames.
Ziff once again being the last man standing here. It's going to be hard to clutch this one out. But if anyone can do it, he's the man.
Yeah, thinks better of it this time as the slow orb will impede his progress. And now the fire starts as well, so he will have to make his way out of there. 14 seconds remaining. Big Frames with a really solid start to this match. We saw Destined stumble against Triumph in the beginning of the last match as well. So definitely, of course, not going to count how Destined 4 rounds into the match, but really, really exciting stuff for Big Frames, being the only team that's new to the VSS in these semifinals. So far, DSR and Thweefo, only players on the server yet to make a impact score-wise. DSR was one of the heroes of the last round, so he will be wanting to try to get that momentum, getting up that momentum as soon as he can. They will pick up a couple of the judges, looks like. Try to get some cheeky kills there, but the money is really light for Destined. Going to have to practically save here. They'll play a little more spread out this time, trying to get some information. Thweefo does catch out the Sova towards bathroom, so they do have some semblance of information, but have to kind of assume that was going to be there regardless.
Oh yeah, and on the side of Big Frames, they moved Cypher from A over to B, so they're 3-stacking B now. But it looks like A may be the play, which is really good on the side of Destined.
Yeah, always tough for the defensive side on this map to get that rotate around to A. CP2 not able to convert the kill there, forced to back off of that spot for now as Destined do begin to spill onto the site. Winsome getting taken or marked out, but he does get some frag damage down. Almost picks up the kill with the ultimate. The bullets are now starting to fly. CP2 unable to get a good angle onto this site, trying to peek at what he can, but not able to convert the kill once more. CP2 really struggling this round from heaven. Now Big Frames down 3v5, or excuse me, 3v5 are Big Frames down. Nerf will take out Thweefo, and Randy Savage will even it up. Randy Savage again catches out DSR, but Ziff saves the day, and what an impressive round from Destined. Basically a save, you know, they had 1 Guardian and I think an SMG and the rest were on pistols.
Yeah, and look at the op pickup and the Vandal, and now look at the economy is flourishing, all aside from Thryfo. Left with 100 credits and DSR, everybody else is pretty much sitting pretty solid. Big Frames, if they lose this next round, they are going to be in a bit of a tough spot as far as their economy.
Yeah, there's still some heaps of cash on the side of Destined, so they do have some money to play with. They'll get a little more aggressive towards this B side as 2 members push up towards Hookah. Almighty Hunter trying to get the angle B long, but CP2 will win out over Anderson this time. Almighty Hunter thinks about the wall bang, but thinks, I don't think my bullets can go through that many walls, as Big Frames will kind of start to back up on this B site. They don't have anyone towards elbow. They are really clustered towards this back corridor, but they still are in a comfortable position to hold the site. Destined, meanwhile, are very committed to the B side of the map and are actually going to almost, oh no, Winsome had the opportunity to catch them out of place, but ends up taking himself out. Destined, yeah, Destined with a little bit of an edge, not earned to say at all, but Destined now with a 4v4, but on this B site is a 4v3 as the slow rotate from Big Frames has yet to materialize.
And as Bump and Carry were saying earlier, it's so hard to come out of hookah on this map.
Yeah.
It's really you put yourself just out there.
Almighty Hunter once again getting aggressive towards B long. Turn up too easy. Will get 2 for his trouble as CP2 goes down. Oh, turn up too easy, going absolutely nuts this round. So close to picking up the 4K. Can he do it? Time is running out. Oh my goodness, turn up too easy, making it look too easy with the 4K. Big Frames reinstating their lead over the match.
Big help from that recon dart, just spotted everyone out for him, and he was just able to get the jump on him.
And that's how important these recon characters can be. I almost understand the not taking the Sage for the trade of having 2 characters that can pick up information, especially on this this map where the rotates can take a bit longer if you're not wanting to commit to the teleport. I think having the split Cypher and Sova really comes in handy, but at the cost of a revive and heals, definitely a big trade-off to make. So Destined playing a little more spread out at the beginning of this round, not as committed to towards B as before, but they are really aggressively pushed up on this long side. Ziff gets the action started. Turn up too easy, not going to be able to make it look easy this round. CP2 does get revenge onto Almighty Hunter. Destined will be able to take B side, but Winsome guns them down as they do so. Randy Savage almost has the backup. He eventually gets sprayed down by Ziff for Ziff's 3K. Now Big Frames are in a really tricky position, and the only route to winning is through B corridor.
Yeah, they couldn't get onto the point, though. They didn't have Spike.
Where's the Spike?
Big Frames, it almost looks as if they're choosing to save, and they didn't even know that.
But it's a 2v2, and the Spike hasn't gone down, guys. I mean, I can't really blame them because I would have fully expected from Destined. And now CB2 fully taking advantage of Destined not carrying the bomb with him to site. And now Dweefo in a really tough position. He's actually going to take the teleporter over to A, but a bit of a misplay costing the life there of Ziff on Destined, getting sniped out. Now it looks like Dweefo will be able to plant this bomb down as time ticks down below 10 seconds, but wow, just goes to show you.
I mean, I guess that was just a big brain play to just wait for the sound cues, and they split a little bit, so if you hear A, you just kind of take a stab at where you think they're planting. And
really smart idea to snipe out that default plant area. Meanwhile, Dweefo is over towards Lamp, not able to get the spray down, and they're coming for him, but the double headshot from Dweefo seals up the round for Destined. What an absolute play. We were talking down on Dweefo for not being able to get going these last 2 matches. He comes back in a big way to turn the tides once again for Destined, bring their deficit down to 2.
Yeah, I mean, running at him just stacked like that. I always say, don't stack. You just collateral damage. You lined up your headshots for him. He was just able to pick that off 1-2. I mean, they had time to kind of play with it. You could have flanked around either side and peeked at the same time. Like,
yeah, I think with 2020 hindsight, you definitely want to play the Spike in that situation. You don't want to play the player, especially when you know where the player is. It's not necessary to be that aggressive. Meanwhile, Destined are slaughtering Big Frames with them, opening 2 kills, but Winsome does some slaughtering of his own in A short, getting 2 big kills, getting 3 big kills, and what a thrifty 3K it was, using his utility and ult to the full of their potential. Takes out 3 members of Destined. This is now a really tricky 2v2 for Destined. Randy Savage going to get the intel. They think better of pushing up onto him as turn up too easy, takes out Dweefo. Wow, Randy Savage takes out DSR. Destined got absolutely picked apart that round. Big Frames once again bringing their lead to 3 rounds.
Yeah, and that was on a thrifty, so their economy is, looking a lot better now, and it's kind of flourishing a little bit here and there. Got a couple people over 4K, and Destined hurting pretty hard right now. Gonna have to do a save round. But I mean, hey, if Big Frames can do it on a thrifty, so can they.
Yeah, absolutely. Almighty Hunter does still have the op in his hand, so there is some play-making potential in that regard. He'll peek over to B long as DSR does get more aggressive towards Hookah. We thought they might be deterred from this angle after CP2 was aggressive, but they realized he's not going to do that every round. Doesn't matter this time. The op kills are going to get traded but team by team. Randy Savage will go down on the side of Big Frames, but CP2 winning the op battle, picking up his own 3K. Oh my goodness, almost with the sickest no-scope. Turn up too easy, does have his back. Destined get absolutely once again picked apart on this B site, going down one by one in quick succession. Turn up too easy finishes off the round. What an excellently played round from Big Frames.
Yeah, Big Frames showing up here. This is their first showing in the VSS. First time I've seen them on stream, and I'm impressed with what I'm seeing.
Absolutely. Turn up too easy, going absolutely nutty so far, proving that, hey, you might want to pick up a Sage.
Yeah, that's top fragging Sage. You know, 9 and 2. I mean, they're not dying, so they're doing their job of staying alive, but they're also winning the gun game.
I think it's really, really impressive. Like we mentioned before, we've seen so many Sages in the VSS go absolutely nutter butters in terms of aggression. You know, they have that heal to back themselves up, so they have a little more leeway as CP2 getting a taste of his own medicine. DSR sniping him through the wall. Randy Savage does get 2 revenge kills, though, so the lead still in favor of Big Frames, but what a snipe that was in the matchup of the 2 hunters.
Destin's going to find themselves in a little bit of a tricky spot. They don't have any like smoke coverage to lay down. I mean, they might have a Cypher cage, but they have no coverage for laying down this spike. They're going to have to kind of go out and win these trades first.
Ooh, Randy Savage does get picked out there by Destined. So Destined with a 3v2 lead in this round. Big Frames with a tricky retake. Nerfed is up in heaven, trying to get an advantageous angle. Turn up too easy, going to make a play of his own. It does get the res onto Randy Savage, so Randy Savage brings it back to a 3v3. Almost eats the grenade there from Raze, but lives to fight another day. Now Big Frames will be pushing onto the spike, but you gotta check those corners. Really gutsy defuse there from Turn Up Too Easy. He saw the time was ticking down, felt he had no other options. Destined do get another round under their belts, once again pulling Big Frames' lead within 3.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge Cypher cage to cover the plant down, and then they held it beautifully, spreading out. And they did it off the back of them using their res too, which is super important. You get rid of that.
That's actually really true.
And you get the win, so you got to be feeling a little bit better. It is still 6-3, a little bit down, but I mean, a lot can happen. There's still a lot of rounds to play in this first half.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments they make here. It's so far on the attacking side. CP2 once again being aggressive towards Hookah. This time pays for it with his life. And now Big Frames do leave the B side quite open. Turn Up Too Easy responds with aggression of his own as Winsome does get a kill, but Destined evening up the kill count 2v2. Quick action towards the B site. Both teams rather spread out, but it looks like Destined will be able to take the bomb, or excuse me, the spike over to A uncontested.
Yeah, that was a very aggressive push out from Big Frames on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to mix it up tempo-wise. I definitely can understand that, you know, so many, they had CP2 push out so early in Hookah and then changed up their pacing for the rest of the rounds. So they wanted to try to catch Destined on the back heels. Not quite able to do so, as though this round is even as Big Frames look to play the retake. Destined so far hiding out. Almighty Hunter not catching anything with the Leer, and now it looks like they will be forced to push out on this. The really clever wall almost cuts off the defending team, but now a 1v1 between the team healer and the self-healer. The team healer gumming out victorious this time.
Yeah, Turn Up Too Easy has just been spot on with his head. I mean, it just is his gun game. 13 and 3. +10 on his KDA right now. This is actually
13 and
great.
3 against Destined too.
Yeah.
This isn't 13-3 in a pug. This isn't 13-3 in ranked. This is 13-3 against a team that's been there, done that in terms of the VSS. Really impressive performance so far from Turn Up Too Easy. If we look at the side of Destined, the hero of last match, DSR, stumbling out of the starting gates thus far, but does have some of his teammates there to back him up KDA-wise, but a tough game for him to get going in. Now Destined once again leaving the bomb closer to spawn, not peeking over towards B long this time, surrendering over that area, trying to get some vision over on B site, not catching anyone out of place for Big Frames thus far.
Yeah, and they're still opting to run it through hookah.
Yeah.
Which still amazes me. It is. I feel like it's so hard to break through it, but I mean, they just aggressively run out time and time again, and they make it work.
I think it's the fear of there being that op watching B long. If you don't have the op to respond, it's really tricky to convince yourself to want to push that. But as iCarry and Bump are pointing out, running out of that hookah window can be a death sentence for a lot of members of your team if you're not careful. Meanwhile, Big Frames have yet to lose a character. I say that as Randy Savage goes down, but Turn Up Too Easy will get a revenge kill on DSR, and Nerf will take down Anderson. One man left, and it is Thwifo who does get a kill into Winsome, but I don't think he's been able to do anything about this defuse, and does eventually get wallbanged by Nerf. The Big Frames racking up another round, going up 8-3 over Destined. Really tricky position for them.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, let me help you break that down."
Yeah. Yo, you want to shoot through the wall? Yeah, we can shoot through the wall. I'm gonna shoot you after, but yeah, let's shoot through the wall. A little bit of cross teamwork there, as it were. Big Frames still coming out on top. Really just complete performance from them. I don't even really know what to say. They've just been outgunning Destined left and right, which is extremely impressive. Destined has been a team that we've kind of fawned over as casters, saying like, oh, look how amazing these guys are. You know, Thwifo, DSR, Ziff, these guys have put on absolute monster performances in the VSS in the past. So to see them, you know, at a loss, I would not be wanting to play Big Frames in the semifinals right now.
No, absolutely. I mean, Destin was able to triumph over the last demon that took him out, and now they
That's
might
true.
have another one that knocks him out.
Destin making lots of enemies here in the VSS, but look at this aggressive push from Big Frames. Oh my goodness, wrap around to through a short. They never would have seen that coming. Three members of Big Frames establishing absolute dominance over the A site. What a clever play that was on this, the last round of the half. I absolutely love that aggressive defense, but they will give up some control of B site. They do have two members there to respond, and the rest of the team coming through through the backside corridor. Winsome picking up his third kill of the round. He will go down. Nerf, though, closes out the round over Ziff and Anderson. Big Frames with a completely dominant performance on the first half.
Yeah, and if anybody in the chat knows where these guys are from, are they coming from
Who are these
Fortnite?
guys?
Are they coming from Apex? Are they coming from Overwatch?
I don't. Welcome back, everyone. Apologies for the delay. We are getting back into the game as Destined have been crawling their way back, only bringing what was a 6-round lead for Big Frames down to 3. Now Nerfed getting a kill onto Ziff as they do have the spike down due Destined. Big Frames looks like they only have pistols. They do have 3 members left, but this would be quite a heroic retake. Nerf not able to convert there on Thwifo. Oh, Winsome with a big double headshot. Almost gets the ult kill for his troubles as well, but Thwifo gonna close it out with a 3K. Really excellent stuff from Winsome. Winsome, regardless of the situation, has been getting more than his share of frags.
Yeah, that would have been insane if that rocket connected and they were standing next to each other.
Imagine if he gets the one kill with the rocket and splash damage onto the other so he can just clean it up with the ghost. That is a more than opportune performance. And now Destined with only 2 more rounds to overcome, looking so much more doable than what was 6 rounds just at the beginning of this half.
Yeah, bringing it within 2 after that kind of start, I mean, very much needed confidence, definitely coming in on the side of Destined here. But, I mean, it took them, you know, a while to get started in their last match, so maybe...
That's true.
Yeah, just late bloomers.
Winsome once again picking up his 2nd double kill in as many rounds. Really wonderful stuff from him. Anderson will finally take out Winsome, but he will get taken out himself. Nerfed getting all of the action here over onto B site. Does have the orbital available to him as Spike goes down, so he does have a way of delaying this. No Molotov as he sneaks over to B long. 2 members of Destined left alive, split up. Thwifo is on this back corridor trying to find an angle as Ziff pushes in through elbow.
And this kind of coordination is very needed in order to retake this type of site.
Oh, Ziff is going to find the first one. Can't find the second one, but he does pick up the knowledge for Thwifo. The delay for the orbital will come in. Now Thwifo does have the opportunity to push, and he nails the spray to take out Nerf. Does he have enough time?
That's huge.
Yeah, he's definitely got it. He's definitely got it.
Yeah, he's got this.
He's definitely got it. Thwifo and Ziff going absolutely nutty. We were talking down on them at the beginning of this match. We knew it took them a while to even get into the last game KDA-wise, but this round they're taking the lead for their team. 18 kills over onto Thwifo. Ziff with 15 of his own. Turn up too easy does have the response, you know, of 17 kills on his own. Winsome has been picking up ever the multi-kills on the side of Big Frames, so definitely the battle of the top fraggers thus far.
No, absolutely, and now it's 9-8, you know, after such a huge deficit, so Destin's got to be feeling good. They got the ball rolling. They got the momentum.
Huge momentum. That's 5 rounds in a row for Destined as CP2 dances around the Hunter's Fury. He says, I've seen this movie before.
Touche.
Winsome getting a little cheeky towards the hookah window, not catching anyone right now, but does eventually catch DSR. Might get a grenade kill for his trouble. Turn up too easy with the follow-up on Almighty Hunter, and now Destined are in shambles. Exactly Only 1 man left to this B side as the rest rotate through back corridor. They are pushed off from this molly as the spike goes down. This would be an incredible retake from Destined, but they only have a couple avenues to take.
Time is not on their side. They're going to need to coordinate just like they did that last round.
This one's going to have to be a little faster. Those satchels not finding anybody quite just yet. Ziff trying to find a cheeky wallbang, not able to do so. Anderson will get the action started. Turn up too easy once again, making it look too easy with a triple kill. Absolutely hero play from him. Destined just really, even though they were able to get it 2 rounds ago, that retake on B site is just so hard to guarantee.
I mean, in a 3v, I think there were, what, 3v5 situation? Yeah, that's, you don't have the numbers.
Yeah.
And when you're all coming from, you know, one of 2 sites, you know, no one has enough time to rotate around, it just makes it very difficult.
Now, both teams with limited economy in the bank, not a lot of cash. That was Big Frame's first win of the second half, though, so definitely happy to at least get a round under their belts of what was effectively a shutout. Winsome once again taking a more aggressive approach to hookah. This has definitely been the approach that Big Frames prefer. They like to get right up in the faces of Destined here on this B side. And again, Randy Savage making it look easy, opening up the action onto Almighty Hunter. Winsome once again with a clever satchel out of hookah window, but even that is not enough to stop the death march. Anderson going to get a kill of his own before get taken out. Randy Savage down to 12 HP. The spike is not yet onto site, and now Destined really with an opportunity to break Big Frames wide open.
3 out of
taken out
5.
Zip before
But
he
first,
can
you're going to have to
actually-
kill Randy Savage. DSR finally gets the job done. The last 5 HP of Randy Savage finally letting go of the mortal world. And now turn up too easy. The last man standing for Big Frames will be able to take it over to A site. But, oh, I think he's going to be a little more clever than that. But I think Destined are up to his tricks.
Oh, yeah, they just peeked the camera over at A, so they know he's not going to A. They're like, we can see what you're doing there. We got a Cypher camera over there.
Yeah, and he was ready for it though, and turn up too easy is just that fast. But the Wifo setting himself up for success. A little BM to sprinkle on top. The Wifo really getting his head back into the game. I'm really, really excited to see a standout performance from him. Just goes to show, never count any of these players out.
Absolutely. It's 10-9. They clawed their way back this far. They're not going to go down without a fight. I mean, that was very well played from Turn Up Too Easy. If they did not have that Cypher camera there, they probably would have done a full rotation on over to A, and then that B plant would have gone through. But fortunately, they had the sights.
Big Frames definitely taking a slower approach to this round, trying to eke out an advantage before committing too much to anywhere. They will kind of leave B long open as Destined don't really respond to that. As Destined have 3 members stacked up onto this A site. Big Frames do look like they're gonna make the play over there.
And this is a save round for Big Frames, so if they pull this out, they're going to be sitting. Oh, pretty but as I say,
what did you say?
Collateral.
What did you say? Don't push together, guys. Don't line up together. Oh my goodness, it does pan out well for Randy Savage and CP2, able to pick up some kills of their own, but that's not quite enough to do it on this save round, as 3 members from Destined are remaining, and they do have control of the spike.
And he's making lots of footsteps, so he's just looking to kind of. Oh,
It doesn't matter how many footsteps he makes. Almost able to get the bullets down. Not quite able to bring it through, though. Just getting a little bit of damage onto Almighty Hunter.
The sheriff control. You cannot just 1, 2, 3, 4 as if it's a
It's kind of a 1, 2, 3. You gotta let that hand get back into place.
The recoil of doom on that gun.
Absolutely. So now a position that I don't think Big Frames, if you had asked them at the end of the first half, if you had asked them, do you think you'll be tied up with Destined at any point? I don't think they would have thought that their 6-round lead could dissipate this fast, but here we are. Destined brings it back 10-10, showing you just how powerful the defense side of this map can be. CP2 taking his first glance towards long, thinks better of it with the smoke, going back for a little another look, but so far no one quite able to eke out an advantage. Nerfed might catch a leg here, but decides to back off as well. Big Frame still holding the bomb over towards B site, but they haven't yet collected the team, so any kind of play for them is going to take a little while to materialize. Nerf's taking out the boom bot here as some utility is going down, but not quite an execute.
Yeah, and they're taking this round at a very slow pace. They're not running in like they usually have. They're letting them, blow all of their abilities, and 45 seconds left. I think we're gonna have an explosive round here in a second.
Oh, Almighty Hunter is the first to get things started there. Winsome jumps out of the hookah window, not finding anything once again, as Anderson picks up a double kill, and Thwifo will pick up a kill of his own off the back of that. So now Destined in a really favorable 4v1. That death march out of the hookah window not paying off.
Yeah, no. It's a really crazy setup. I mean, the way that B is structured, you're almost forced to win long, but I mean, if you can burst through hookah with those picks and really kind of set yourself up with your smokes and your walls, I mean, that you really have to plan that out, because just jumping in like that,
I mean, it's a clever enough answer to the problem of what do you do about hookah window? How do you approach hookah window? And so Winsome says, I'm just going to get away from it. I'm going to launch myself out of there, hopefully faster than what they can keep up with. But unfortunately, when you're, and I'm sure that actually works for him quite a bit, which is why we keep seeing him attempt it. But unfortunately, when you're playing a team to the caliber of Destined, usually and pretty much every time he's done that, they've had a crossfire set up on that hookah window. So it, you know, if you beat one guy, there's another guy right there peeking behind a blade of grass to take you out. So Winsome going to have to find another answer to that problem. Big Frames grouping up towards A. Winsome the first to go down on the side of the attackers. Randy Savage will get revenge as Winsome gets his second chance from turnout too easy. Now Big Frames with a big 5v3 advantage make that 4v3 as Ziff evens it up just a bit onto CP2. The orbitals from both sides coming down, doing a lot of damage. It will get healed back, but now Big Frames with a quick teleporter play over to B, and Destined now running to meet them. They will be a little late. It looks like Big Frames do have the chance to put this bomb, or excuse me, put the spike down. Destined now forced into that back corridor are going to have to be a little clever to get this retake at this disadvantaged pace.
Yeah,
Here they all come.
Completely off of B. Look at where they're positioned.
Yeah.
In Garden and Hookah.
Just waiting for that defuse to come through. Ziff does push up through a hookah and almost does it stealthily enough to not get caught. Winsome too quick on the draw. A 2v1 now. It turns into a 1v1 as DSR picking up some absolutely nutty kills, but the time is working against him and he's not able to push Randy Savage, and Randy Savage able to pick up the easy win there. What a back and forth round to tie us up at 11-11.
Yeah, I mean, going up against that 3v4 already on the side, for the side of Destined, they actually did a great job taking down as many opponents as they could and almost getting away with that defuse. Here we are, 11-11.
Yeah, I mean, almost really mirrored attacking halves for either side. Really not able to get much down when they're not on the defensive side. Just proving how tough it is to be the attacking side on this map. It really is. You have to commit, kind of all or nothing to these sites, whereas, the defensive side can play a little bit more around with their balance. Nerf will take out Zip, an all-important kill, and Winsome getting a grenade kill onto Thwifo, kind of redeeming himself for the grenade SD a little bit earlier. So awesome to see for him. The bomb does go down from Big Frames, and now only 3 members left for Destined. I think they will back off here because this is just
honestly,
so
with the economy,
tricky.
Yeah, and their economy's not looking too great right now, especially with players remaining.
Yeah, it can be so tough to get through bathrooms and A short to take A site, both narrow corridors leading you in there. But if you are able to do it, it's so tough for defense to get any sort of retake going if they haven't flanked completely around to the other side of the map. Trying to retake through Heaven and through CT is just a really difficult task. I mean, akin to taking B through back corridor. It's just not ideal. So Big Frames picking up the rare attacking win round to bring it to match point against Destined in the single elimination semifinals here in the Valorant Sunday Showdown.
Yeah, exciting stuff. And if you are Destined, I mean, your palms are getting a little sweaty. You're trying to pick it back up, but you're also probably just in the zone right now. You're not thinking about a loss. You're thinking about the next play.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Destined, you have to recognize you've won 8 of the last 10. I mean, that's hugely impressive, at any point in the game, on either side. So you have to be confident about that regardless of the score line, which is not the easiest task, to be sure. So turn up too easy, taking the spike away from A side from now. Looks like Big Frames are going to start making their play over towards B side. Ziff trying to get some info there, is smoked off, not able to see too much. And now here come Big Frames onto B, making the hookah window death jump successfully this time. No guns to meet them there. This time the spike will go down. Neither team trying to give much away. Anderson will be the first to go down, getting taken out by Winsome, but Winsome taking huge damage from that last bite of the Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, I mean, that was just such a crazy push. No one was actually looking.
Almighty Hunter not fast enough this time as DSR picks up a double kill. Ziff now trying to defend the site as backup comes back around, taken down to 3 HP. Really tricky to play. Not a lot he can do here. DSR does get the triple kill, but it's not quite enough to win the match. Big Frames taking the win. Congratulations to them. Destined, an established team here in the VSS, getting taken out once again by a newcomer in the form of Big Frames. Yet another rival for them to pick out on the bracket and say, like,
next week,
we're coming for you. So a lot of motivation for Destin, but I do just want to say a big congratulations there. This is one of the toughest gauntlets, I think, to make in any competitive game, is this top 32. So for them to do that consistently, big props to them. We saw some really amazing stuff from Thwifo that game. Really, really excellent stuff. But your match MVP will be Winsome, getting the most out of those splash damage utility, just being so aggressive with his team. It didn't matter what side of the map either. I mean, you had Winsome on the defending side, pushing through hookah, doing full flanks around to get to the back of Destin. So yeah, no surprise there from the match MVP. Really, really excellent stuff. And now we are moving on to, we will take a quick break, but we are moving on to grand finals here. The Valorant Sunday Showdown. Big Frames, our first team to make it in. We'll be back with the second team here shortly.